The grey man does whatever a grey man can. Can he make a comic feed? Yes, he can. He just did. Watch now, a video from Grey Man. A video from Grey Man.
Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas. Got this on the shelf. I'm trying to keep it so I can get the tree in there. I didn't want to get the shelf in. Let's see if I can put it here. That's a little bit better, isn't it? Got the tree in the background. I got myself a gin and tonic. Well, about a mouthful left. Not got much to talk about today, really. I read one comic. I read this on the way to Lisa's. There you go. One comic to talk about. But hopefully there'll be some comics underneath this tree in a couple of weeks' time. That'll be very nice. I'm going to my dad's day after tomorrow. I've got to go home tomorrow and dig out my black covers for cover slingers. Maybe I'll wear my black hat as well. Maybe I should take this with me so I can wear my black hat for cover slingers. I imagine I think next Sunday we'll be doing Christmas covers, hopefully. But yeah, I need to dig them out. That's the thing is I'm going backwards and forwards between places. I need to dig them out really quickly. So I'm going to have one evening to look for some black covers when I'm at home. But anyway, yeah, this was a pretty cool comic. Pretty daft. Superman starts off as Clark Kent. He's doing a test in a bunker. They're testing a nuclear bunker. Him, Lois and Jimmy. And while he's there, there's a bit of a disaster up above ground. What did he do? Somehow he caused the water levels to rise so that they'd let them out of the bunker early. Something like that. But no, somehow he created a device out of the equipment that was in the bunker that was able to summon these three biblical and not just biblical, but historic, biblical and mythological heroes. So Atlas and Hercules are mythological from Greek mythology, and Samson, of course, is biblical. And anyway, so he calls them all to sort of help with this disaster, and they help with the disaster. But then they decide they're going to take over the world, and because they've all got powers of gods. They're quite tough, for him to face. So they've got powers of so each one has got a power of a couple of different gods, like 2 or 3 gods. So he poses as Omni-Master or something like that. I can't remember the name of them now. Pretending that he's got the power of all the gods to outfox them and to make them think that he's a tyrant who will take over and they're going to be under his command. That it was a bit daft. Anyway, just beat him up as Superman. If he was able to beat them up pretending to be somebody different, why didn't he just beat him up as Superman? But anyway, he ended up convincing them to go back because he pretended to be a worse tyrant than they were, and they didn't want to be under his thumb. So they ended up going back using the reverse ray that he'd set up. But it turns out he hadn't actually got them from the past. He'd actually got them from other dimensions where they were evil versions of themselves. That's why they turned out that they were evil. And then there's quite a cool backup story with Supergirl, where these aliens create this protoplasmic android kind of thing. They watch Supergirl. They sort of, boy, you sneezing there? That was Oswald. Oswald Oycat just had a sneeze over in the background. You want to come and say hello to the boys and girls, Oswald Oycat? Sure, they'd love to see you. He sits there licking his face. And the cat's going giving her face a good lick. Yeah, so they create this android. She falls in love with him, which is the plan. He takes her back to his planet. They sit on a throne, and then there's these thrones have got built-in a switch that they push the switch, and it sucks all her powers out of her and gives them to this evil tyrant guy who, that was his whole plan, was to steal her powers. But then it turns out that the robot, the created robot, had actually fallen in love with her as well, because it was programmed to have everything about it that she'd fall in love with. The best looks, the looks that appealed to her the most, the personality that appealed to her the most, because of the fact they'd watched her and analysed her and stuck it in the old supercomputer. And so she fell in love with him. Anyway, didn't realise that the robot fell in love with her as well, and it ends up helping her to get her powers back and to outwit and overpower the baddies. So yeah, that was a pretty cool story, pretty cool backup story in there. Supergirl's always beautiful and cool. Love them old Supergirls. I love the old comic books, as you know this already. Anyone watching my channel knows this already. There's some crazy stories going on, but I just love the old Superman. Like they're so hokey and you could say cheesy and not based in any kind of realism. That's the whole. It doesn't matter. They're just good fun yarns. And I like that kind of twee oldness of them and it just appeals to me. Let's have a close up on Oswald. Hi Oswald, handsome boy. Hi Oswald, handsome boy. Try and ignore all the mould. Lisa doesn't like it when people see the mould. Oswald? Oh, there he is. He's so black. He's so dark, Oswald. You can't work out. For some reason, I thought I was looking at him from behind. But looking at him on the sofa, that's his front. But because it was so black, he's got his eyes shut. He's got his eyes shut and his tongue's not poking out for once. So you can't see him. Oswald! Oswald, oi cat! Oswald, oi cat, why don't you say hello to all the boys and girls? Let's give him a stroke. He loves Lisa. You're Lisa's boy, aren't you? You're Lisa's boy, aren't you, Oswald? He's got a little underbite. His bottom jaws, so it doesn't quite mate up with his top jaw. So he doesn't actually meow. He can't meow. He goes and bleep bleep bleep. He makes some funny noises, don't you, Oswald? Don't you make some funny noises, mate? But as soon as Lisa sits down on the bed, he's right on top. He's straight there. He comes running in. He sits on her chest. He rubs his head against her face. You love Lisa, don't you? You love Lisa almost as much as I do. Ah! Give us a blippy, Oswald. Give us a blippy. Give us a blippy. Poke your tongue out, boy. There you go. There you go, little blippy Oswald. Yeah, you're a handsome boy, aren't you, Ozzy? You're a handsome boy, aren't you, Oswald, oi cat? Anyway, that'll do for my blog today. Let's zoom out a bit. Zoom out a bit. Stop scaring the boys and girls with your face. Anyway, so cheers for tuning in. Oh, I got a video to shout out. I can't remember now. It's someone's fat Stax or something like that. Somebody's Stax of Comix. I can't remember who his name is now, but I've watched a few of his videos. I'm going to do a jingle for him. And cheers for tuning in. And I'm going home tomorrow. So I'll be doing a blog from home tomorrow. Got to dig out some black late covers for Cover Slingers. Yeah! Anyway, I'll be back tomorrow. Until I return, I wish you all a great amazing day. I've actually sold a cup. Someone in Australia bought some of my merch. Someone's bought a cup with me going... I've got two suspects. It's either Simple Simon or Werewolf by Lunchtime. I'd go with Werewolf by Lunchtime as my first guess. Simple Simon as my second guess. I've got a couple of outside chances as well. Whack Comics. You could be Whack Comics, or it could be Think Geek Theory. That's that's the four people in Australia who are possibilities. But get your mug now. Get your mug. Get your T-shirt with my face. Get your mug with my mug on it. Basically, get your mug with my mug on it, or similar merchandise. You want to say goodbye, Oswald? You say goodbye. You say goodbye. Whack me in the face probably, because we have this little thing. I pretend he doesn't like me. Because every time I come home, I steal his side of the bed. He's like, oh no, what are you doing here again? Don't you know it's me and Mummy's bed? Isn't that right, Oswald? Yeah, he's such a beautiful cat. Such a good fella. Anyway, until tomorrow, have a great amazing day, and may all your news be good news. Say anything, Oswald? Say meow? Camera shy.
Go and sub Rob's fat stack of comics. Rob fat stack of comics. Rob's fat stack of comics. He has a fat stack of comics, and he'd like for you to sub him. So why not go and do it now? Rob's fat stack of comics.